Pull up a chair here on the porch, friend. I want to tell you something an old man does not usually say out loud. They will tell you the hardest stretch of a whole life sits right there between 65 and 75. And I am here to tell you they are right. I am 74. I am standing in the back half of it myself, so I am not guessing. But here is the part nobody bothers to add, and it is the only part that matters. Hard is not the same thing as bad. Hard is just the forge, and a man does not get made into anything worth being anywhere but the forge.
Now I will be straight with you because I have got no reason to lie to an old friend on a porch. When these years first came for me, I fought them like a green colt fights the first rope. I hated the slowing down. I hated the heaviness. Everything that used to cost me nothing started asking me for something. A little more wind, a little more grit, a little more patience than I figured I had. And it took me longer than I would like to admit to see the thing I want to hand you tonight. That same weight I was cussing at, the load these years pile on a man, that load is what still builds something in you. And the slowing down, the thing I hated worst, that is the thing that finally made me quit running long enough to look at my own life. So let me walk you through the hard parts, one at a time, and show you the other face of each one. I will not put a shine on it where there ain't one. Some of it just hurts. But most of it, I swear to you, is carrying a gift on its back. Start with the sameness. Every fellow my age knows it. The same road into town, the same chair of an evening, the same eggs cooked the same way. Days running together till you cannot hardly tell Tuesday from a Sunday. I fell into that rut myself and did not even feel the walls of it going up. But here is what the young ones cannot know yet. When a man slows down enough that his days go quiet, one little new thing lands on him like a good rain on dry ground. Last spring I took a road home I had never once taken in 40 years of living here. Found a low field with a couple of horses in it and an old leaning barn. Nothing happened. I just sat in the truck a minute, and I remembered that plain little evening better than I remember whole busy years back when I was chasing everything. That is the trade the sameness is offering you. Fast, and it all blurs and you keep none of it. Slow. And one new fence row can mark a whole day into your memory. So I do one unfamiliar thing every week now.
Nothing wild. I am 74. I am not fixing to go jumping out of anything. Just a different road. That is plenty. Then there is the circle drawing in. The phone stops ringing so much. The fellas you used to see, some move off, some pass on, some just drift. And I will not pretend that one is all sunshine, because watching your circle shrink can put a real ache in a man. I have seen strong fellas, men who worked around 100 people every day of their lives, end up sitting alone in a quiet house, wondering where everybody went. But here's what I found underneath it. When the big crowd thins out, the 2 or 3 that are truly yours start to shine like a lamp in a dark pasture. My wife is still here beside me. Thank the good Lord. And after 50-odd years, I finally quit taking that for granted. The neighbor who waves. The grandson who calls just to hear my voice. You stop spending yourself on rooms full of folks you were only ever performing for. A young man needs a crowd to feel like somebody. An old man needs about 3 people, and he finally knows exactly what they are worth. That ain't a smaller life. That is a life boiled down to what was the whole point of it. Now here comes the one that grabs a man right by his pride. Learning to take help. Our whole bunch was raised to carry it alone. Ask nobody for nothing. I will tell you on myself. A while back my knees give out on me hauling feed, and I went down in the barn and I was not hurt bad, but I sat in that dirt a good while. And my first thought was not to holler for anybody. My first thought was to make sure nobody saw. That is pride. And pride is a green coat you cannot ever fully break, but you can learn to ride it. Because here is a thing it took me too long to learn. When you let somebody help you, you are not the weak one. You are handing them a door. The folks that love you have been warning in for years, and your pride was the only lock on it. I spent my whole life being the one who helped. Turns out, letting yourself be helped is just love running back the other direction, and it counts every bit as much. Even the body dragging its feet turned out to have something to teach. There is a little hitch now before I stand up out of a chair, a little figuring at the bottom of the stairs about whether the trip is worth the climb. I stood at the foot of a hill on my own place last fall, a hill I have walked 1,000 times, and for the first time in my life, my legs asked me a question before they would go. You sure about this, old man? Well, that shook me some. But that little pause, the one I hated, was the first thing in 74 years that ever made me ask whether the climb was even worth taking. When you are young and strong, you do every fool thing, whether it matters or not, just because you can. Now the body makes you choose, and choosing, friend, is nothing but wisdom wearing work clothes.
The hills I still climb, I mean them. The ones I skip on purpose. That is not a man breaking down. That is a man who finally learned the price of his own steps. And I will say this too, going uphill was always what put the iron in a man's legs. That has not changed one bit. Now I have got to stop and be honest with you, because I told you I would not shine up what ain't shiny. There is grief in these years, a lot of it, and I am not going to hand you a neat little bow on this one. I lost my brother Emmett a few years back, and some mornings I still reach to call him before I remember, and I will tell you plain, there is no gift hiding in that. There is just a hole where a man used to be. I have quit pretending otherwise. The closest thing to a gift I have found is this, and it is a small one. The ache is the receipt. It is the proof the love was real, that he mattered, that my old heart still works well enough to miss him. So I stopped trying to get over Emmett. I just carry him now. And maybe that honesty, not fighting it, not fixing it, just carrying it, maybe that is all the grace a man gets on this one. I do not know. But I have made my peace with not knowing. And the last hard thing is the deepest. It is waking up one day and not knowing who you are anymore, once the jobs are all done. For 50 years, I knew exactly who I was, because somebody needed me every hour of the day. The provider, the husband, the fellow who fixed the broke thing. Then the work winds down and the young ones are grown, and one evening you are sitting on the porch thinking, nobody much needs me today. That will sink a man if he says it enough. But sit in that quiet long enough, slow enough, and it turns on you. because under every one of those jobs there was always just a man, and I had been too busy being useful to ever once go and meet him. An oak does not grow fast, friend.
It grows slow and it grows quiet, and it takes it near a lifetime to become the thing it was always going to be. These slow, heavy years are the first time I have had the quiet to find out what I am underneath all the doing. There is no more proving left to hide behind. There is just me. And it turns out that was going to have to be enough all along. So here is what I believe, and I will hand it to you humble, because I am 74 and I still get half of this wrong on any given day. These are not the years life takes everything from you. These are the years life finally slows you down enough to spend what it spent a lifetime teaching you. The load gets heavier, sure, but heavy is the forge. Heavy is a hand on your shoulder, sitting you down, saying, "That is enough running now. Look around. Most of it is still right here." I do not know if that is real wisdom or just an old man making his peace with what he cannot change. Maybe it is both. But I would not trade these slow years to be young and fast again. Not for anything. I will take this porch and my wife's step in the kitchen and the low evening light coming down over the pasture. That is not what is left over at the end. That, friend, is the best of the whole thing. Now listen to me before you go. If sitting here with an old man was worth your while tonight, do me one small kindness. Go on and watch another one of these with me, and tap that subscribe button if you have not already, or at the very least, leave a little thumbs up so the good Lord's algorithm carries this along to some other tired soul who needs to hear it too. And then come on back. The chair is always here, and so am I.